Ever notice your car doing something off? A tiny hiccup, a weird noise, a shift that feels just a little too aggressive. Well, buckle up because today we're breaking down 12 signs your transmission is dying. And one of these signs is so subtle that Consumer Reports says most drivers ignore it until the transmission completely self-destructs. You do not want to miss that one. Welcome back to CarCultureX, the channel where your ride lives longer, your wallet breathes easier, and your mechanic silently curses your name for knowing too much. All right, let's dive in before your transmission files for retirement. Number 12, the gas mileage drop, the quiet killer. Most people never connect bad fuel economy with a failing transmission, and that's why it's the most dangerous sign. Here's what happens. When the transmission starts slipping internally, your engine compensates by burning more fuel to push the same amount of power through a failing system. Consumer Reports calls this the silent early warning because the car often runs smooth, no noise, no shaking, just steadily worse miles per gallon. You chase air filters, spark plugs, fuel injectors. Meanwhile, the transmission is quietly bleeding efficiency, one unnoticeable slip at a time. If your miles per gallon tanks suddenly and nothing else is wrong with the engine, your transmission may already be in the early stages of failure. What you should do. Check transmission fluid level and condition immediately. Low or burnt fluid is equal to early failure. Do not keep driving long distance until the cause is found. Slipping generates more heat. Schedule a full transmission diagnostic, pressure check plus scan codes. Change the fluid if it's old or degraded. Fresh automatic transmission. Fluid restores hydraulic pressure. Number 11, limp mode, the car's last-ditch survival instinct. When your car suddenly locks itself into one gear and refuses to accelerate, it's not acting possessed. It's entering limp mode, a built-in safety mechanism the Society of Automotive Engineers says is designed to limit damage by restricting torque output. Your transmission is basically screaming, "Stop before you kill me." Drivers often think it's an electrical glitch. Nope. This is the vehicle's version of self-preservation, keeping the transmission from tearing itself apart like an overworked machine soldier on its final legs. If you ever hit limp mode, the countdown to failure has already started. What you should do: pull over and shut the car off. This resets the system temporarily. Scan the vehicle for transmission-specific trouble codes. Most auto parts stores do this free. Check fluid level. Low pressure often triggers limp mode. Stop driving long distances until repaired. Limp mode is a critical warning, not a suggestion. Number 10, shaking, shuddering, and vibration. While accelerating. That low-speed tremble you feel at around 20 to 40 miles per hour, it's not your tires, your alignment, or your imagination. It's your torque converter slipping, the part responsible for transferring engine power into usable movement. American Automobile Association reports that shuddering like this is one of the top early complaints before major transmission failure. It feels like your car is nervous, almost trembling under pressure, like it's being asked to do something it physically can't anymore. If your vehicle vibrates only at certain speeds, that's a transmission-specific signature. Dodge it now or pay for it later. What you should do: check and replace old or contaminated transmission fluid. Dirty automatic transmission fluid causes torque converter shudder. Add a transmission friction modifier recommended by your manufacturer. Works for many Fords, Hondas, Chryslers. Avoid towing or heavy loads until the issue is fixed. If the shudder stays, mechanic needs to inspect torque converter clutch and solenoids. Number 9, transmission fluid. Leaks, the car bleeding out. Transmission fluid doesn't evaporate. It can't go somewhere. If the level is low, there's a leak, period. Those red or brown puddles under your car, that's not just a drip. That's your transmission bleeding out. Consumer Reports estimates nearly 40% of early transmission failures come from drivers ignoring leaks. The reason it's deadly is simple. Transmission fluid cools, lubricates, and provides hydraulic pressure. Lose that pressure and every internal component starts wearing out twice as fast. Lose too much, and you'll bake the transmission from the inside out. This is one sign you never wait on. Leaks are slow death. What you should do. Locate the leak source as soon as possible. Pan gasket, cooler lines, front pump seal, axle seals. Top off fluid only to limp it to a shop, not as a long-term fix. Fix the leak immediately. Even small leaks destroy transmissions over time. Consider installing an auxiliary cooler if overheating is contributing to leaking. Number 8, sudden loss of power. There's nothing more unsettling than pressing the gas and feeling nothing. The car moves, but reluctantly, like it gained 2,000 pounds overnight. This happens when the transmission can't properly transfer power from the engine. The torque converter slips, clutch packs glaze over, hydraulic pressure drops. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration case reports describe the symptom as progressive loss of drivability. This isn't the engine failing. This is the transmission dropping the ball so badly the engine can't save it. If acceleration is sluggish, even though the engine revolutions per minute normally, you're losing transmission integrity. What you should do. Stop aggressive driving immediately. Near slipping generates extreme heat. Check for diagnostic trouble codes related to pressure loss or solenoids. Replace old automatic transmission fluid, especially if dark or gritty. Avoid towing or high-load driving until inspected. If the loss of power is severe, tow the vehicle to avoid further damage. Number 7, whining, humming, or high-pitched buzzing. A healthy transmission is quiet, like a disciplined machine doing its job. A whining transmission, that's a cry for help. This noise often comes from a failing pump, worn bearings, low or aerated fluid, or internal pressure loss. American Automobile Association's technical database ranks abnormal whining as one of the first audible symptoms before full failure. The car starts sounding like an old click-through rate television warming up. That's not nostalgia. That's impending catastrophe. What you should do. Check fluid level immediately. Whining is equal to starving pump. Inspect for foamy fluid. This means air is mixing in from a leak. Do a transmission service, filter plus fluid change. If the noise continues, pump or internal bearing inspection is required. Number 6, dashboard warning lights and temperature alerts. Modern vehicles are watching everything. Shift timing, clutch engagement speed, hydraulic pressure, internal temperature. When something's off, the check engine light, the transmission temp light, or a service transmission soon message pops up. According to the Society of Automotive Engineers, SAE, transmission codes are triggered long before mechanical failure, meaning these alerts are early lifesavers, not late warnings. If you ignore these dashboard warnings, your transmission won't. What you should do. Scan the vehicle for codes as soon as possible. Many are extremely specific. Avoid driving if a temperature warning appears. Overheated transmissions fail rapidly. Check ATF condition. Burnt fluid is equal to overheating problem. Install an auxiliary transmission cooler if you frequently tow or live in a hot climate. Number 5, grinding or metal-on-metal sounds. If your transmission starts sounding like it's chewing gravel, you're in deep trouble. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration investigations describe this as the sound of worn syncross, failing bearings, broken gear teeth, or unlubricated metal components. Grinding isn't a quirk. It's your transmission cannibalizing itself from the inside. Every second it runs this way, the repair bill jumps. What you should do. Stop driving immediately. Grinding is equal to internal damage in progress. Have the fluid inspected for metal shavings. If shavings appear, internal rebuild or replacement needed. Do not flush a failing transmission. This can finish it off. Number 4, the burnt fluid smell. The transmission cooked itself. Transmission fluid has a sweet, oily scent. If it starts smelling burnt, bitter, smoky, almost chemical, that's your transmission telling you it overheated. Consumer Reports calls burnt automatic transmission fluid one of the strongest signs of impending total failure. Why? Because overheated fluid loses its ability to lubricate and pressurize. Once the fluid breaks down, the transmission cooks from the inside out. Frying seals, clutch packs, and pump components. If it smells burnt, it is burnt, and your transmission is next. What you should do: change the fluid immediately. Overheating destroys automatic transmission fluid. Check for clogged coolers or blocked fluid passages. Install an auxiliary trans cooler for towing, mountain driving, or hot climates. Stop driving aggressively until overheating cause is fixed. Number 3. Harsh, violent, or explosive shifting. That sudden jolt forward, that slam into gear, that feeling like someone kicked the underside of your car. Those aren't rough shifts. Those are hydraulic pressure failures. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration recalls often cite harsh shifting as a precursor to torque converter failure and internal clutch damage. Every aggressive shift is a mini seismic event in your drivetrain, a shot fired directly at your transmission's lifespan. Ignore enough slams and your transmission will return the favor by quitting unexpectedly. What you should do: check automatic transmission, fluid level, and pressure. Low pressure is equal to violent shifts. Update TCM, transmission control module software. Many cars fix harsh shifting with updates. Change clogged filters, reducing pressure. Avoid full throttle acceleration until the issue is corrected. Number 2, delayed engagement. The car hesitates before moving. You shift into drive, and nothing happens. Then suddenly, bang, it engages like it got startled awake. American Automobile Association lists delayed engagement as a sign of worn clutch packs, sticking valves, or failing solenoids, all of which destroy the transmission from the inside if ignored. A delay is your transmission losing its ability to build pressure instantly. When pressure disappears, failure follows closely behind. What you should do: check fluid level. Low fluid prevents instant engagement. Service the transmission, fluid plus filter. Clean or replace sticking shift solenoids. Do not rev the engine during the delay. This burns clutches. Number 1, ignore gear slipping, the transmission losing control. This is the final boss of transmission problems. You press the gas. Revolutions per minute shoots up, but the car barely accelerates. Consumer Reports identifies slipping as one of the last warning signs before catastrophic breakdown, because it means internal clutches can no longer hold the gear. Your engine wants to move, your transmission refuses. You get stuck in a mechanical tug of war, one you will never win. If your transmission slips, the countdown isn't months, it's days. What you should do: stop driving immediately if the slipping is severe. Check automatic transmission. Fluid level, low fluid is equal to slipping. Replace fluid and filter if it's old or contaminated. Run a full pressure test. Slipping means pressure loss or worn clutches. Prepare for a rebuild if slipping continues even with fresh fluid. Transmissions don't fail out of nowhere. They whisper, they warn, they glitch, hesitate, slip, shudder, and cry out long before they die. And most drivers miss every single sign until they're stuck on the shoulder, watching smoke curl out from under the hood while their wallet files for bankruptcy protection. But now you know better. You know every sign, you know every solution, and you know exactly what to do before your transmission decides it's had enough of this world. So if this breakdown saved you stress, money, or a tow truck bill the size of a mortgage payment, do the smart thing. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who definitely needs this. Comment below and tell me, which sign is your car showing right now? We'll feature the best or funniest confession in the next episode. Until then, drive smart, stay vigilant, and remember, your transmission only fails once, but it warns you a dozen times. Don't ignore the messages. Catch them before they catch you.